Welcome to the video on problem solving exercises. In this video, we will go over a profit maximization problem and we will check the second order condition for the maximum value of the objective function. So let's start with the information that the inverse demand function is given to be price equal to 70 minus 5 times Q. P is the price, Q is the quantity. We are also given that the total cost for producing output Q, so I will write TC for total cost, it's a function of the output Q, is given to be 5Q plus Q square. Given this, we want to find out the maximum profit the firm can earn. So let's start step by step. First, I will write down the total revenue as a function of output Q. So total revenue as a function of Q is price multiplied by Q. We know price is given as 70 minus 5Q. I multiply it to Q, and then what we obtain is 70 times Q minus 5. Q times Q is Q square. So this is the total revenue. We already know the total cost, so profit as a function of Q is the total revenue minus total cost. I am omitting the fact that each one of them are function of Q. So now I will replace for total revenue. I am going to write 70Q minus 5Q square. And then the total cost is given to be 5Q plus Q square. So we can simplify this expression by 70Q minus 5Q square by opening the parenthesis. So we have a negative in front of the parenthesis. So each term in the parenthesis, the sign should be reversed. So 5Q is with a positive, becomes negative 5Q. Q square is also with a positive, so becomes minus Q square. We can simplify this by collecting terms. So I have 70Q minus 5Q turns out to be 65Q. Then I have 5Q square and Q square both with a negative sign becomes 6Q square. So this is the profit as a function of output Q. Now we want to write down our optimization exercise, so which will be maximize the profit. Let me write it. The objective function is the profit, so maximize profit as a function of Q, 65Q minus 6Q square. By choosing output Q, we want output to be non-negative. In fact, we want it to be strictly positive. I will retain non-negative sign, but we know it should be strictly positive. For the solution, we will first write down the first order condition. So the derivative of the profit with respect to Q will turn out to be, first term is 65Q, so derivative will be 65. Second term is 6Q square, so 6 times 2Q, which is 65 minus 12Q. And the first order condition means I will like to make it equal to 0. So the solution turns out to be 65 equal to 12Q. I divide both sides by 12 and I get Q to be 65 over 12. So if the profit is maximized at any output, then the candidate is output equal to 65 over 12. Now, to see whether we obtain a maximum value of profit or a minimum value of profit, I will apply the second order condition. So I take the derivative of the profit with respect to Q again, which is taking the derivative of 65 minus 12Q, not 6Q, 12Q. And so the first term is a constant, derivative is 0. The second term is minus 12Q, derivative is negative 12, which is a negative number. So we obtain maximum value of profit at Q equal to 65 over 12. Now we can find out the price as well as the profit. Remember, price P is given as 70 minus 5Q. So 70 minus 5 times 65 over 12. We can simplify this. So 7, I will write 12 in the denominator. This becomes 840. This term turns out to be 325. So the price turns out to be 515 over 12. This is the P star. I will write it separately at the end, but now let's go ahead and find out the profit, which is 65Q minus 6Q square, or I could also write it as 65 minus 6Q times Q, just to simplify the calculations. And so here what I get, I have 65 minus 6 times 65 over 12, that's the quantity, times 65 over 12. So we have Q again, and so the term in the parenthesis turns out to be, I can do this simplification, I can cancel out 6 from the numerator and the denominator. I get 65 minus 65 over 2. This second term is the quantity. We can see I get 65 over 2 by simplifying the terms in the first parenthesis, and then I have 65 over 12. The profit turns out to be 65 times 65 over 24. And we have got all the solutions. So I will write P star, this is the price the firm will charge, 515 over 12. Q star, this is the quantity this firm will sell, 65 over 12. And the profit, again I'll put a star here. We have already checked that this is the maximum profit, turns out to be 65 times 65 over 24. And this is a good point to stop.